Hello and welcome back to episode 3. Glad to have you back again. Let us continue through Mulgore. I believe last time we planned on doing this one, going to the Pale Mains. So let's go ahead and do that. We got part of the way through grabbing what we need for the Thunderhorn Totem too, but we will go ahead and do the Pale Mains first. It's marked as a level 6 quest and we're level 8 now, so this one shouldn't be too much of a problem for us. There's actually, I think they told us we can go 2 different directions, right? Oh, here we go, yeah. Almost couldn't find it. South of Bloodhoof and in a cave to the west. So we're gonna go to the cave to the west. We need to kill 3 different types of these gnolls, right? I think these are gnolls. Little hyena-like looking guys. So let me go grab this herb over here. I'll be doing that anytime I see something on my mini-map, at least as long as I notice it. These are pretty low level for us at this point, so no problem at all. Oh yeah, gotta make sure to remember to skin too. These types of quests where you have to kill multiple types of the same faction can be a pain sometimes because you need different numbers of different types, and a lot of the time it seems like the different types spawn differently, and you know, some are more frequent and some are less. So what you'll a lot of times find is that, you know, you've killed, let's say, all of these tanners already, all 10 of them, and you're struggling to find any poachers or something like that. And you got to keep going around and killing because one of the types doesn't spawn frequently or something like that. It's a pretty common problem, unfortunately. I'm pretty sure from doing this one in the past, the ones named Poacher are only inside the cave. So if you were to spend all your time out here killing, these are the guys we're looking for. Whoops. If you were to spend all your time outside the cave just killing over and over again, you'd never get the poachers you're looking for. So it's hard to know sometimes if you're just getting unlucky with the spawns and how rare something is. I can get Earth Root. Look at that. I didn't even know that that was in this zone. I thought that was a higher level item. Guess not. But yeah, you wouldn't know if you're just getting unlucky or if you're in the wrong place. So back in vanilla, sometimes it took a long time to do these when you were doing them for your first time and you weren't sure where anything was. So let's start carving a path over here on the right. Oh, this guy can shoot me. Alright. So tanners are casters. Good to know. There's another tanner. Oh, we got a patrol coming. Which way is he gonna go? Right down the middle, looks like. Oh, I interrupted it. Ooh, leather gloves. Not as good. Okay. Bet you that patrol's gonna come back. Outside, it looks like. Might have some time. Oh, I got lightning shield too. Can't forget to use that. I'll pretty much be refreshing that after probably every other fight. So you'll see that. Low on mana. You'll see that it basically casts 3 charges of it on me, and then every time I get hit, it consumes one. I think I might just hop down in here, actually. Every time I get hit, it consumes one of those 3 charges. So, depending on how long each fight lasts, you know, it could consume all 3 charges on one guy, or it might be less. But I believe Lightning Shield is actually a pretty efficient use of mana. Pretty low on mana all of a sudden. Huh. It's actually not a bad staff right now, considering it's gray. Oh, here's a poacher. Okay, yeah, so these guys are only deeper in the cave in here, and it looks like they're shooting me with bows, crossbows, so they're a ranged class. I think I'm gonna drop, yeah, I'm gonna drop a totem here. Oh! Wow, good thing I waited. Caves are always a little more dangerous just because, you know, you only have so much room to move, and on top of that, the mobs seem to be more dense, more on top of each other, so you'll be more likely to pull another one on accident, and especially when they run away like this guy has been. I'm gonna see if I can line of sight this guy, so I'm gonna shoot him and then pop behind the rock here and see if he can't shoot me back. That works. That's what's called line of sight, when you step behind a wall or something to hide, to prevent the people from shooting you or casting spells or whatever they would do. It's a very common thing to do if you ever are a tank when you're running a dungeon, and what that means is there will always be, or well, there should pretty much always be one character who is meant to, oh, I got an extra guy here, meant to take all of the damage. So that will almost always be a warrior. If you're a alliance player, that could also be a paladin, and it could also be a druid. Basically somebody who has a lot of armor, a lot of stamina, a lot of health, and can take a lot of hits. It's called a tank. So the standard setup for a... Oh, that shield's better than mine. Let's put that on. The standard setup for a 5-man dungeon group is 1 tank, 1 healer, and 3 DPS, which means damage dealers. Oops, that was the wrong button to push. DPS just means damage per second, and it just means that you're a damage dealer. And just like that, I've already got my 5 poachers, so I can actually start heading back out if I want to. A couple of scanners, yeah, I might as well grab them while I'm in here. When it comes to running 5-man dungeons, I will almost certainly be trying to be a healer. Finding damage dealers is almost never a problem. There's a lot of people that, whether it's because of their class choice, they can only do that, like a rogue or a hunter, for example, can only do that. And then there's also a lot of players that, even though they're playing a class that could tank or could heal, they still choose to only want to be a damage dealing class, or role, sorry, in the dungeon. Unfortunately, that's very often a problem with warriors, there are a lot of people that play a warrior, so you'd think that, hey, it shouldn't be that hard to find a tank, but no, it is. It always is. Tank is almost always the last one you're going to find when you're looking for a group. Sometimes healers, usually tanks. Very, very rarely is it a DPS. Oops. I line-of-sighted myself there, see that? But anyways, I will certainly be ready to heal if it's necessary. If, you know, obviously finding damage dealers are almost always not a problem, so I'll be ready to be a healer. I probably am not going to put talents into my healing tree. We'll get to that after I get to level 10. You actually don't have any talents until level 10. But one of the 3 talent trees for Shaman is very much healing focused. Oh, I don't even need skinners. I'm not even paying attention while I'm doing here. One of the 3 trees is very much healing focused, and I do not plan on using that tree. I plan on using one of the damage dealing trees, despite the fact that I plan on healing dungeons. It really shouldn't be too much of a problem. The healing talents are nice, but they are not, you know, make or break, really. What really helps for healing, even if you're not going to take the talents, is to just have good gear for it. And at lower levels, really all that just means is as much intellect as you can have. Intellect is the stat that gives you more mana. I believe one stat of intellect is 15 mana, and that's just a flat number, no matter what level you are. Go for that chest there. I only need one more Tanner. I'll probably get both of these guys here. Yep. Out of mana too. Shouldn't be too bad. Okay, that'll be fine. Right here. So I plan on paying attention to my gear as we get higher level. There's a lot of stuff in there. That's pretty nice. And we're done. That was easy. I think it's because I'm a little bit higher level than expected for that quest, so it wasn't too bad. But anyway, quit changing the subject here. So I will plan on gearing myself to be ready to heal any dungeon. All of our gear so far is just white and gray. No stats yet. Probably shouldn't be too much longer. We'll be getting items that are their names are in green, and that means they have stats on them. Should be getting them relatively soon for not only for quest rewards, but also just randomly finding them on things we kill. And then hanging on to gear is a little more... I think that same Peace Bloom's back already. It's a little more involved once it gets to that point. Right now it's really just more armor is better, which is easy when you're starting out, but a little bit less fun, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm gonna get that guy for sure, yeah. The stat that is truly important for healers is one that increases your bonus healing, but that is basically non-existent at low levels. So that's not going to be something we're going to find for quite a long time. Honestly, until you're like basically level 60, there's not much of it that you'll ever find, even as you're leveling. Health potions are nice. I want to keep those. Rough stone. Let's go vendor some stuff. Yeah, I don't need one rough stone. I'm not sure if Earthroot actually sells for a lot or not. According to the auction right now, it does not. I'm not sure how accurate that is.
Oh.
Back to Bane. It's good you've taken my task seriously. Respect of the land and its creatures is important. Death and life are a circle, a necessity. One cannot exist without the other. Take time to ponder this and do well to never forget it. And the reward is some bullets, which is a very strange reward, since very, very few classes can even use them. And 25 is not very many. And as far as I know, you can't buy this type of ammo. I might be wrong about that, but it doesn't sound familiar. So it's almost like the only place to get that specific ammo is from this quest. And then once it's gone, it's gone. So if that's the case, that's pretty strange. So let's continue on. I've got these Stalker Claws to get still. We're already halfway through this quest. We got the Cougar Claws while we were looking for the, what was it, a Femur, I think, for that other quest that we've already turned in last episode. So these guys are just on the other side of the bridge here. We can probably get them pretty quickly. And then we'll be heading off further away. So these are the Cougars. We've already got them. Prairie Stalker. I'm getting to a point already where my mana is definitely not refilling as fast as it was. So I need to start thinking a little harder about which spells I'm casting, how many spells I'm casting. Oh, let's go grab this silver leaf over here. Not a very good flower picker yet. Still failing. I think, uh-oh, that's not good. Snuck up on me. Oh, fine. Oh, you know what? I should have kept that staff. Start training staff skill. That's okay. I think we'll get a staff reward for a quest soon, if I remember correctly. I don't remember which one, but I definitely remember getting a worthwhile staff at some point in Moldor. So, not a big deal. We will have, oh, another 6-slot bag. Look at that. That's fantastic. I also think it's fun to have different colored ones. So I'm glad I got 2 different colors already. I'm not sure how many colors there actually are. So we've got a red and a green one. Pretty sure there's a blue one. Pretty sure there's a plain brown one. And I think there's, I don't know if it's called black or gray, but it's, you know, just some darker color. And that might be it. That's all I can think of at the moment. But that's 5. That's pretty good. I mean, that's more than we can even have, so. I'm thinking, oh, there's a silver leaf right there. I'm thinking 3 lightning bolts is kind of the right amount, except for when they resist one. That's a bummer. It's kind of a good amount of time left that I have to kill them based on how much health I've drained already from the lightning bolts and how much time it takes for my mana to regenerate. Kind of seems like the best balance at the moment. I'd like to be at or near full mana again by the time they die, just to prevent having to have any downtime. Got a lot of resists here. Too far from my totem. Close enough yet? Close enough yet? Wow, this thing doesn't have very good range, does it? It's pretty bad. What is the range on that? 20 yards. I feel like I was within 20 yards. Slow to react, I guess. Shouldn't be too much longer. We're at 4 out of 6. That's at least a pretty good mix of wolves and cougars out here. Man, getting a lot of resists out here. More than I would expect, considering I'm at the same level or even a little bit higher in some of these cases. I'm level 8. Some of these guys I'm killing are level 7. I'm still seeing some resists. Kind of surprises me. You'll notice I'm not dropping totems every time. Unless I think I'm going to be fighting more than one in that general area, I typically won't. Especially with Stone Skin Totem, because it lasts for 2 minutes, which can potentially be a problem if you're still nearby and another mob walks within range of it and basically aggroes it. It'll kill it really quickly because they have like no health, and then they'll still come after you. Somehow they know that it belongs to you. So I typically won't unless I know I'm going to be staying in that spot for at least a little bit. Oh, Shadow. Stay there. Shadows are another thing that are very improved. Hey, loot fruit. I like it. Shadows are another thing that are definitely improved graphically from Classic. Shadows back then were pretty basic. They were really not even legit shadows. They were just like, I don't know, almost like another texture painted on the ground, stationary, and it was just like darker to look like a shadow, but it wasn't actually a shadow. It had nothing to do with where the light source was. It's like right now the light source, well, even though it apparently just went behind Thunderbluff, can't see it right now, is over there, and the shadow is in the right place. But if I remember correctly, back in actual vanilla, that was not the case. Shadows were pretty bad, and they were not nearly this detailed. Like, you can see as I'm running, you know, you can see my arms moving in the shadow and everything. And when that guy was flying over just there, you know, the shadow was perfectly shaped to the shape of the wyvern, I think they're called. I think that's maybe how they're pronounced. The things we take for flight paths, for taxis, they're like a lion, bat, scorpion, if that makes sense. They mostly look like a lion, but then they've got bat wings and a scorpion tail. Oh, yeah, see, there goes another one. If you can kind of see what I'm talking about. The Alliance, in most of their zones, have griffins, which are, lions and eagles, I think. They're like lion bodies with eagle heads. And maybe even something else in there too. I'm not 100% sure. And then we get these goofy things, wyverns. Griffins are something that exists in other fantasy franchises too. But I don't know if a wyvern does. I don't know if that's something that just Warcraft made up. This is the guy I'm looking for, by the way. I didn't mention. I knew there was a quest giver over here on this path. I'm not just running out in the middle of nowhere. He wanders back and forth, so you never know exactly where he is. Well, since we were in the area, I thought I'd grab it. A few days ago, we found a Venture Co. caravan traveling under guard on the northern shore of Stone Bull Lake. That's the lake right here in Bloodhoof Village. We'd lost 2 of our number in an earlier battle, so we were quick to attack and lay waste to the caravan. We left their supply crates, thinking that our torches would destroy anything of value, but given that Venture Co. salvagers have been spotted near the burned wagons, maybe we were wrong. Perhaps you could go to the caravan and examine the contents of the crates. So that was actually the caravan I just ran past without me mentioning it. Actually, you can see it right there. It's still smoldering. And there's a bunch of the Venture Co. goblins and other people there too. So let's go find out what's in those crates. You can kind of tell the noise of the water. I think I mentioned that last episode, that having the ambience turned up like I do when you're near the ocean, the water sounds are very loud. They're not so bad here on just like a still lake, but you can definitely hear them. Kind of like that. And in zones with a lot of nature like this, you hear the birds, lots of birds chirping. Back when I played in vanilla, I really liked listening to the music of the zones, so I actually had that option turned on that, I think it's called loop music, which basically just means the moment the song ends, it starts over. So music is essentially just always playing. 1 armor, look at that. In a chest. Can I get it without this guy? Yes, I can. And that's the crate I need. I don't think I can get close enough. I think I'll have to kill this guy here. level 6. Easy. But as I was saying, I really liked listening to the music back then, so I always had it turned on. And I do still like the music, but I think I didn't ever, I don't know, appreciate just the sounds of the game, because I couldn't hear them when the music was on. Oh, dang it, I need to stop blabbering about things and get out of this dangerous spot here. Taskmaster. This guy the boss, I guess? Level 8? Yeah, I guess so. Okay, let's get this grate here and then I'll get back to spending more time talking about sounds and music and all that. Alright, so all sides of the crate are stamped with the sign of the Venture Co. Mining Division. That's something that's kind of annoying with this add-on. I think it automatically detects a period to indicate the end of a sentence, and then it knows to go to another page. But it can't differentiate the fact that this wasn't a period. This was just stopping the abbreviation for company. So sometimes you'll get clearly not a real sentence like that. Kind of weird. Notes printed carefully on the side of the carton indicate that the contents are due for processing at one of their central plants. Prying open the lid reveals a tightly packed assortment of ore and minerals. More evidence of the Venture Co.'s mining operations in Mulgore. See here, it didn't trigger it. I don't know why it does sometimes. On the top of the ore and minerals, you remove a tightly bound sheaf of papers. Up in the foothills to the east, you can barely hear the sounds of work and see smoke rising from a large fire. To the east, huh? So to the east, it's actually talking about this mine up here. That's not the entrance because you can't climb up that. You can get in, I think, over here where this kind of rock pile is. You go up this path here and get into that mine. The Venture Co. are in there. We'll be going there soon. Or at least we'll get the quest here when we turn this one back in. I can't remember. That one might actually be a little bit higher of a level quest. That might be like 10 or 11 as well, so we won't be doing it quite right now. I'm just reminding myself of the quests here. And we gotta find our wandering quest giver again. There he is. Pretty lucky. He wanders a good distance down this path, definitely at least past that tree, so sometimes you have trouble finding him. Hail. Hail. Have you learned anything new about the Venture Co.'s plans and operations in our homeland? If they plan to exploit our lands as they have others, the Outrunners will be quick to put an end to it. I don't know who the Outrunners are. It does indeed appear that the Venture Co. is attempting to rob us of our natural resources. It's good to know this for true, and now it seems we must do something about it. To quests. This explains the buildup of Venture Co. employees and equipment we've seen in Mulgore. Those goblins. Their company is expanding too quickly for their own good. It's how they say, show a goblin something and you can hear the scales in the background. Whoa, dude. Greedy little things they are. Man, listen to this guy. Unfortunately for their business enterprise, we Tauren cannot allow them to conduct their operations in our lands. Go to their mine northeast of the Ravaged Caravan and send them a message.
Goodbye.
Kill a bunch of them. According to the documents you salvaged from the caravan, the Venture Co. created many plans to attempt to drive us from our lands here, so that they could have free reign to plunder our lands. The depths that they would sink to accomplish their goals disgust and appalls me. I want the mastermind behind their plans killed. His name is Supervisor Fizz Sprocket. You'll find him at the Venture Co. mine east of the Ravaged Caravan. Bring me his clipboard. We shall see if we find out anything useful.
Ancestors watch over you.
Alright, so go kill everyone. Oh yeah, level 12, look at that. Oh hey, look at that. There we go with some green rewards. See, their name's in green. And this one has +1 agility and +2 strength. But we're not quite ready for those yet. Oh yeah, let's not forget to turn in our Thunderhorn Totem quest. I think now with these reagents, he can give us another one of our little totems to go cleanse the next totem. Or, well. Yeah, they use the word totem too often, don't they? It's confusing. Do you have the claws I sent you to gather? The Thunderhorn water well grows more tainted with each passing hour. Thank you. The purity with which these beasts hunt is vital in the creation of the next cleansing totem. The goblins will never learn the difference between contending with the land and living in harmony with it. Level 9. The totem is ready, and again it is your task to perform the ritual of cleansing. Go to the Thunderhorn Waterwell, north of the village, and use the Thunderhorn cleansing totem in your ritual. After you do this, return to me. May the spirits guide you. Let's see. So I want to make sure I just didn't mess up last time and miss any spells here. Okay, looks like we got everything. Yeah, so I was talking about the talent trees earlier. The 3 trees for Shaman are Elemental Combat, Enhancement, and Restoration. Restoration is the... Pardon me. Restoration is the healing tree that I mentioned earlier. And Elemental and Enhancement are both damage trees. Elemental is, as you can guess based on the name, a little more focused on casting elemental spells, so like Lightning Bolt, Earth Shock. There's a lot more that we'll get later on. We'll get fire and water spells and all sorts of things. And Enhancement is more focused on using melee weapons and enhancing them with like my Rockbiter weapon and stuff like that, and doing melee damage as opposed to spell damage. And I plan on going Enhancement. I definitely think it's the better of the two for leveling, anyway. Elemental is fun, but it uses a lot of mana. There's a lot more downtime. I guess I should figure out where I'm going, huh? I think we'll be doing these. Oh no, of course, we're doing the totem. Or the well. Not even thinking here. Okay, there it is. Thunderhorn Water Well. But yes, I will be going Enhancement, for sure. And despite the fact that I'll be putting my points in a damage dealing tree, it really should not cause a problem at all if I want to heal dungeons. Like I was saying, I'll just make sure to find a lot of gear that has intellect, and that could even mean cloth, so cloth users tend to need more intellect. All of their classes use intellect. So it's a lot easier to find, and I can wear a cloth. So I will likely be hanging on to cloth pieces that have a lot of intellect on them, just so I can wear them when I'm running dungeons, because they'll likely have more than my leather. So I will likely be having probably not 2 full sets of gear, but I will be probably carrying some pieces. Not that I have to have them on me at all times. I can put them in the bank. But I will almost certainly be managing 2 different sets. Well, that's that same staff again. You know what? I'm actually tempted to start training my staff a little bit. I'm going to miss a bunch of times. My skill is starting off at 1. You can see here my maces got up to 40 out of 45. Is currently my maximum based on being level 9. My stabs are starting at 1. So basically I can't hit this guy, and I'm gonna need to heal myself. This is always what's awkward about learning a new weapon type. You miss, dodge, parry, miss, dodge, parry. And when you do connect, it does like 1 damage. What are you gonna do? Ooh, yep, he got me. I don't know why I didn't throw a totem down. That would have been helpful. This will go much smoother once I get my fire totem. Fire totems do damage, which is very helpful, especially in a situation like that. I get my fire totem quest at level 10, I believe, so very close. Need to separate that from my junk. I don't want to accidentally sell my weapon and shield there. I don't recall what the last, or what the next quest in this chain is. This is a pretty long chain. There are several water wells to cleanse in the zone, so we've done 2 of them now. And I can think of at least 1 more. Might just be 1 more. Might be a couple more. Definitely one of the longer chains in this zone, if not the longest one. I'm back, Mole. Ancestors of the Thunderhorn clan spoke to me in a dream, praising you for your actions near their well. For their gratitude, they wish to give you this. Ancestors of the Thunderhorn clan... oops, I'm reading the same thing again. 7 armor. I will take it. Slightly better than what I have. There is but 1 water well left to cleanse, named after the Wildmane clan. For this well to be pure, the land must offer the teeth of a fierce predator, the Prairie Wolf Alpha. Find the alphas to the north, then return to me when your hunt is finished. Alphas often wander around the base of our mighty city, Thunderbluff.
Ancestors watch.
And that is also a level 10 quest, yeah. So we will certainly be doing these 2 level 8 quests next time. But I think this is probably actually a good time to stop. So this episode's a little bit shorter than the last 2, but that's okay. These next 2 quests will probably take quite some time, so I don't want this episode to be very, very long. The last 2 have been probably about as long as I would want them to be anyways. So I think I will wrap this one up now. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.